Hey guys! So I recently got a question about the differences between living a raw lifestyle in LA versus Hawaii, so I wanted to address that for you. And for those of you who don't know, to give you a bit of background about where I've lived, I was born and raised in New Jersey. Then I lived in Montreal for 9 years. Then I lived in Santa Monica, LA area for 4 years. Then back to New Jersey for a few months, and now out in Hawaii in Kauai. When I first went vegan and then went raw, I was living in LA. So what I can speak about is the difference between LA, New Jersey, and Hawaii. But because I was specifically asked about LA versus Hawaii, that's what I'll be talking about today. I'll be giving you 4 differences between living a raw lifestyle in LA versus Hawaii. I also want to say that I'm not speaking about general differences between LA and Hawaii, but today is kind of a perfect day to make this video because my hair is kind of frizzy, and that never happens in LA because it's a really dry heat, but here in Hawaii it's really humid and my hair has been getting very frizzy. The first difference that I want to talk about is that I feel that to live a raw lifestyle sustainably in LA, you don't need a car, but you do in Hawaii unless you're living on a farm or you have complete access to fruit right exactly where you are. When I lived in Santa Monica, although many people in LA have cars and that's kind of the stereotype that you think of, that everyone's driving around LA, I actually didn't have a car the entire time I lived out there. And I was able to live my raw lifestyle by carting fruit around with suitcases. I was also able to use Lyft to take big cases of fruit home, and I had friends who had cars. I also rented cars for a very reasonable price. So I was definitely able to live this lifestyle and walk to grocery stores and pick up fruit and foods that I would need on my way home. Everything was very accessible. Santa Monica is an extremely walkable city, and I was able to just get everything that I need for the most part right there in Santa Monica, unless I needed to go to the downtown LA wholesale market or someplace where I was getting a really good deal on fruit elsewhere. But here in Hawaii, at least on Kauai and where I'm staying, there aren't really sidewalks, so I can't really walk around places. The farmers markets are spread out all over the island, so I really need to have a car to be able to get to each of them. And because a lot of the fruit that I'm getting here is so ripe and ready, and I'm pretty much getting it just for the day and for a couple days, and I'm going to the farmers markets regularly, I really need to go to the markets often. So it's not like in LA when I was able to get a whole lot of stuff in one day for the whole week. Here I'm going more often, so I really do need a car regularly here. Now, this has been my experience and it might not be someone else's, so I just want to say that it might be possible for someone else, but we were without a car on the first day here and we walked all around, and it was not really the most pleasant experience. The second difference between being raw in LA versus Hawaii is the type of fruit that I'm eating. In LA, my staples were the Cavendish bananas, mangoes, oranges, and those were the main things that I would have. But just in general, there were different fruits that I could get there that I probably won't see here in Hawaii. So one example that I can think of off the top of my head is persimmons. I absolutely loved persimmons out in LA, but I asked someone here and I really don't think that they grow here. Maybe they do, but probably not likely that I'll see them around. Here in Hawaii, there's tons of tropical fruit, and I have access to jackfruit. If any of you follow me on my Story of Lori Instagram account, I posted that we went to a grocery store here and they had jackfruit for over $50, but at the farmer's market we got a nice sized jackfruit for only $5, which was really amazing. And there's so many fruits here that I've been trying. I think I've mentioned a bunch of them so far, but Definitely egg fruit was a really exciting one for me to try, and there's just so many other fruits that I've never seen elsewhere that I'm able to try and eat here in Hawaii. The third difference between being raw in LA versus Hawaii is the community. So there may be a raw community here in Hawaii or on Kauai, but I haven't really uncovered one yet. I know that there are people here who are raw, but I don't really see that same sense of community that I was able to easily tap into in LA. In LA, there were definitely meetup groups and Facebook groups and people on Instagram, and it was really easy to have access to the raw vegan community. But here in Hawaii, there isn't really that same access. So one thing that I would note, that if you're new to raw veganism and you're really looking for that sense of community, then that's something that you might want to consider, because when I went raw, I was in LA and really had that access to community. Now I feel very comfortable in my raw lifestyle and would be able to do it really anywhere that I feel happy. And so I don't really need that same community that I felt that I really needed in LA. With that being said, our roommate is planning on hosting a raw vegan or vegan potluck soon, so if I'm able to get the details for that soon, I'll definitely share them with you guys here on my channel. The fourth and last difference that I wanted to mention between being raw in LA versus Hawaii is really the sense of temptation that I have to stray from my raw veganism. When I lived in LA, I felt so much temptation, and I actually strayed a lot from my raw veganism because of that. There are so many amazing vegan restaurants in LA, and food is really very inexpensive, so it's really easy to pick up some cooked foods. But here in Hawaii, it's very expensive to buy food from the grocery store, and there's so much access to fresh fruit all the time that I'm not really tempted, and I don't really want to spend that extra money. So it's a really good way to stay committed to being raw here on the island. So you've probably noticed that one thing I'm not talking about is prices. And the reason for that is because I spent enough time in LA and Santa Monica to figure out how to get really budget-friendly ways to make this lifestyle work. For example, I found a way to get free bananas. So I'm very new here to Hawaii, so I don't yet know all the little ins and outs, and I haven't built relationships yet with the farmers and discovered other ways to make this lifestyle budget-friendly, but I'll definitely be sharing that with you guys as I uncover that myself. And another thing that I'm not really talking about in this video, as I mentioned before, is just general differences between living in LA versus Hawaii. So if you guys want me to make a video about that, or you're curious about that, please feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. If you found this video to be helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel to see more of my videos from here in Kauai. I love you guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!